Yo, what's up guys? Who am I kidding? What guys? Let's be real, nobody is watching this after me not uploading for a year and a half. But if any of you are, I want to thank you. I won't disappoint you guys again. I don't have a good reason to justify my absence. I didn't die. I didn't get sick. I didn't go to jail. I didn't go to school. As a matter of fact, I didn't even go to work. No, what really happened is that I wanted to surprise you guys. Have a little bit of a time skip, you know, like in One Piece, and get Challenger before uploading again. I was daydreaming of my first video back, being a Challenger montage, me dodging skill shots like... And now, after 536 days, 1,327 games, 3 permanently banned accounts, hours of monk-like meditation, and an ungodly amount of self-medication, I want to announce I peaked 3 wins off Grandmaster before being put on suicide watch. I feel like a failure. But considering I started playing in Season 9, I guess I could be doing a lot worse. I still did achieve a lot this season. I proved to myself I'm better than every ADC in this dog region. I gapped some legends like EDG Viper, Genji Doran, Genji Peanut, C9 Niski. Wait, C9 Niski? I guess I went a little bit too far down the list. I'm just kidding, buddy. Moving on. All this to say that I feel confident I'll hit Challenger next year, and maybe even rank 1 if I decide to stay in NA for the whole season, but for now I need a small break. Seeing as I'm still addicted to this horrible ass video game, but I'd rather blow my brains off than play even a single game, I've decided to make some high quality VOD reviews for you guys. Y'all know the saying, right? Those who can't do, teach. Now that you guys are caught up to present day me, let's talk about today's video. T1 Gumayusi playing Caitlyn. There are 3 reasons why I chose this VOD. First, like me, he didn't achieve his goal this season because he was held back by his dog-ass teammates. Second, he's currently, in my humble opinion, the best ADC in the world. And finally, Gumayusi is by far the best Caitlyn player. The champion just fits his playstyle perfectly. Every pro team at Worlds knew that, so Caitlyn was banned in every T1 game leading up to Game 5 of World Finals, where she was finally left open, but sadly Deft picked her, and the rest is history. Enough chit chat, let's jump straight into the VOD review.
It's me!
So, first thing to note, summoner spells. Caitlyn has cleanse and Ashe has heal. The reason for that is the whole point of the Ashe Caitlyn lane is to have prio and outrange the enemy team. They don't really need the help of combat summoners to win lane. Plus, since Ignite and Exhaust have small ranges, in an optimal scenario they should never be in range to use them. Finally, cleanse versus Rammus is almost always a must. That's it for summoner spells. Now let's get into what type of lane this is. It's a poke versus poke lane. To figure that out, it's quite easy. All you need to do is just look at the supports. If it's a champion like Leo, Blitz, Thresh, then it's gonna be an all-in lane, and if it's a champion like Karma, Lulu, Zyra, then it's gonna be a poke lane. Now that we know that, we can jump straight into the game so I can show you how to play the poke versus poke matchup near perfectly. So here, you go longsword 3 pots. That's because in this lane there will be no all-inning, and if you use the 3 health pots, it's a more gold efficient buy than simply getting blade plus 1 pot. Now, in this type of lane, it's really important to not be AFK at the start of the game. At 15 seconds, the support should be spam clicking in this bush and the ADC in this one. The reason for that is the support wants to ward this bush and back for sweeper, while the ADC protects his support from a possible flank. As you can see, since this is really high elo, both lanes are mirroring this movement. Now, since this is poke versus poke, and the win condition of a poke lane is to get the push, bot lane cannot leash. So what you do in this type of situation is you type to your jungler either in lobby or at the very start of the game, "Sorry, I cannot leash in this lane. I don't mind being weak side though." You add the second part so you seem like a nice guy, and if your jungler is not happy with that, you ping him twice, then assist ping on the enemy fountain 4 times, and finally you mute him. If he ints you, you put him on the int list and you move on. If not, congratulations, you're playing League of Legends properly. As you can see, we're in lane as soon as the minions come in, and we start pushing. What I normally like to do is 1 auto, 2 autos, 3 autos on each of the range creeps respectively, so that I guarantee the push, and then I just respond to how the enemy team is pushing. Here, Ashe is allowed to use her sweeper to remove the ward Lulu placed level 1 because the enemy teams are dogs who don't watch my videos, so they leash and now the enemy team is royally fucked. They lost the push, they have 0 bush control, and they only have 1 ward left on their ADC. They must now make a choice. Either use the ward in lane to try and regain lane control, or keep the ward to try and prevent a gank. Last thing to note from that level 1 is since Rammus started red, he only has till these 3 camps are down to influence bot lane. After that, each second he spends bot is an advantage gain for Gumayusi's team. Gumayusi knows that, so after clearing the first ward, he places a ward here. This ward is really good since it blocks both possible gank paths. After that, we just keep using our range and minion wave advantage to trade on the enemy team bot lane. Here, Ashe is a complete moron. We know Rammus started bot, we see thanks to Ashe E that red and Wraiths are down, and we even see that the entire enemy topside is up. So where could Rammus be? Well, apparently he's AFK, or at least that's what Ashe thought, so she goes to hit tower and she dies. In solo queue, this is the point where I would have totally mental boomed.
I'm so sick of this fucking company. They're trash! Fix the game! It sucks playing the shit! And I'm fucking addicted! So I can't quit! I'm so sick of this shit!
Thankfully, Guma has stronger mental than me, so he does the most DPS he can. At this point, the goal of the enemy team is to crash the wave and then look for a reset. Gumayusi knows that, so he spam pings help so that his jungler can come contest the crash. Here, Rammus does a huge blunder. He should 100% crash the wave with Severe, but it looks like he's scared of losing his topside. Maybe he thinks Bel'Veth started leashless bot, so he decides to go for a base. Severe did go for a ward on the river bush, so I have no idea how they didn't see the Bel'Veth wrapping around, but I guess they don't, so they both die. Since we 100% know that Rammus is topside, Guma can crash the next wave and reset for free. Yeah, Severe did ward, so no idea how they didn't see the Bel'Veth. I guess that's a good lesson on the importance of proper ward placement so that you get optimal vision coverage. If you guys are interested in a wording guide for bot lane with the optimal wording spots, tell me in the comment section. And while you're down there, help your boy out.
That's what she said.
Help me get out the hood by hitting that like and sub button. So, as we're basing, let's do a quick recap of what we know. Thanks to Ashe E, we see Rammus killing Blue and Gromp at the same time, and we see him hit 20 CS with Gromp still up. This tells us that Wolves are dead and he's going to be at top scuttle next. From there, he has 3 options. Either gank top or mid, which is near impossible since both solo laners have the wave in a good spot. Invade enemy topside jungle, which is the most likely option. Or base and go back to bot, which is the least likely one since he based about a minute ago. And what we know for bot lane is that the wave is freezing for us, that our jungler is bot side, and that the enemy has no vision since Ashe cleared it before basing. Thanks to this ward, we see Rammus at Wraiths, which means if we play the bot lane gank quickly enough, it will be a free 3v2. We get the kill on Lulu since she has no sums, and now the game is pretty free from here on out. Take a look at the pings. They're pinging every place Rammus can possibly be. First, they ping the most obvious place, which is Krugs, since we last saw him on Wraiths, and we know that they are still up. Thankfully, Silas places a ward on his own Wraiths, and we see that they are down. Seeing as the Wraiths aren't as depressed as me, we can assume they did not kill themselves. That means we know Rammus was topside. That gives us the green light to push, poke, get plates, basically be lane bullies down in the bot lane. Now, we see that Aatrox goes to check Krugs and that they are down and there is no signs of Rammus being top. I want you guys to take a quick look at the minimap and think, is there any reason for Rammus to still be top? The answer is no. So then where is he? Well, he based and he is speeding towards his Krugs. Here, great base from Guma. They could have looked for the 3v3 since Bel'Veth was bot, but there's no point risking it. If Caitlyn just plays slow and doesn't make mistakes, the game is just auto won. Plus, in theory, the best time to look for a base is when the enemy jungler is on your side of the map. Now look, the base they just did allows Bel'Veth to get a free Drake. Best part about it is that Ashe and Caitlyn didn't even need to move to help. Cherry on top, we see Rammus move into blue team's topside jungle. This means enemy bot lane are about to have zero fun. Here, some low elo players might have looked for some ward, but since we know where everyone is for the foreseeable future, doing so is a waste of time. Now, not much macro play to note here. All you need to do is push and do tower damage. I have no words for this Ashe's gameplay, other than saying Ashe is definitely not an elo inflated champion. Trust me on that. Here, if Guma got hit by the Luluar, he could have died, but thanks to his perfect kiting and help from Belvet, they clean up after the Ashe again. Here, Guma is allowed to crash his wave, since we know that Rammus is at Herald and Ahri is top. Now notice how Guma does not go for the plate, when he definitely could have gotten it. This is because he's calculated in his head that he already has enough gold for pickaxe, cloak, and control ward. Getting the extra plate gold would not have changed anything in his buy. Plus, since we're only 9 minutes in and he's playing Caitlyn, he's very likely to get the plate anyways. That's why there is no point risking getting his base cancelled just to have an extra 160 gold in his savings account. This pink spots Rammus top. Meanwhile, Ashe and Belvet use that information to venture in the enemy team's bot side jungle in order to get vision coverage. Look at this vision line. Oh, so sexy. There is no way Rammus and Ahri can get bot without being spotted. It was sexy, but I do think it was a mistake though. We know that the wave is bouncing back since Caitlyn crashed it before basing, and that means we know that the enemy bot lane will probably overextend trying to crash it. So if Ashe and Belvet camped this bush instead of going for vision, they could have gotten a free double kill. Sadly, the reality is that they didn't, so the enemy team bot lane gets chunked. Speaking about chunks, look at this one. Isn't he the cutest? Say hi, Cam. Say hi, kitty. Here, going for the wave is 100% the right call. The solo experience and the gold are way too important, especially the experience. Now, this chunk forces Severe to base, and now bot tower is almost guaranteed for Guma's team. The enemy team tried to move to contest, since giving tower versus Caitlyn at this point of the game is almost certainly game losing. However, they get spotted by the Ashe E, as well as the vision line set up earlier by Ashe and Belvet. Notice how we saw Rammus move with Ahri, but we did not spot him on no vision. If we look at the entire vision coverage we have, the only place where he could have gone is here by using the blast plant. This skill is why the Koreans like the Ashe Caitlyn lane so much. Pre-6 you're one of the strongest poke lanes in the game, and post-6 you have this crazy one-shot potential. Caitlyn gets the tower, and Rammus comes to exchange one of his free kills on Ashe coupons. I'm honestly starting to think that Ashe should have gone cleanse. This heal has had zero value this game. Here, Guma sees Rammus mid and that his jungler is coming through a bush that's been pinked, so he decides to bait a fight. Belvet and Guma clean up after the Ashe again. I know this looks like a deja vu experience, but I promise I did not fuck up the editing. You're not seeing the same clip over and over again. We're going to end the video on this base. I don't want my first video back being super long. In the next one, we'll see how Gumayusi uses this lead to secure the win. You might think, oh, it's easy, but I promise, if I drop any of you at this point of the game, you will lose this. This will be the new concept of the channel. We'll be doing full game VOD reviews, and they will be divided in two parts. First video will be a laning phase review, like this one, and second video will be more focused on the mid and late game. The reason for that is that I used to stop the VOD reviews when the lead became significant, and that worked. It made me one of the best laning phase players in the world. But now my mid and late game skills are lacking in comparison. Seeing as I'm not only making these vids to make you guys better, but to also improve myself as a player, I think this decision will be highly beneficial for everyone. So next video will be uploaded in 3 days, so stay tuned for that. And if you guys are still tuned into the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Really would mean the world to me. And other than that, peace!